All right, we are back this week. Last week we were out of town and just simply forgot to put up the notice that we weren't doing a show. Sorry. We were in vacation mode and took it seriously. So today we're taking your questions and we're going to give you our answers, but we are starting off with our stockpile questions. When my friend Lois did her pantry, when I did her pantry for my friend Lois 2 weeks ago, I think, I can't remember for sure, 1 or 2 weeks ago, we had several questions and comments on there. So I was going to go through and address them because it's questions that a lot of people ask all the time. So I thought, well, let's go ahead and address those. So the first one is, I've slowly but surely put back enough for almost 2 years. It's just the two of us. However, I secretly provide food for several area families. Police chief helps, so I stay anonymous. My question is, how do you know when you have enough to only rotate and not add more volume? I was raised to be frugal, shop sales, use coupons, etc. So our pantries are truly an investment. With prices going up, there's just no more room. It's starting to feel overwhelming. Thank you for your videos. Love them. Love all your cookbooks. You make a positive difference in so many lives. Well, thank you.
Thank
I kept this person anonymous, just in case they didn't want to be shown. But first of all, guys, our cookbooks are on sale, 35% off for our October sale right now. So you can find that link in the description below. And we're going to talk more about, we have our new price book. We picked those up in Colorado on the way home. So we're going to talk about that in just a little bit more, but 35% off our print book sale right now. How do you know when you have enough? Well, I would say if you're out of room, that's enough. First of all, I think that's great that you help other people. We kind of do that also, but I would say just sit down and estimate how much food you have. It's really not as time consuming as you think it is. So let's say you have mashed potatoes in boxes, the potato flakes. So you just take one box. If it's got, we'll just use 10, whatever serving amount is in there. You just take the 10 servings and then you multiply times the number of boxes you have. Okay, so I have mashed potatoes for X number of days. Now, how I do it, because I like to keep things really simple, I don't go through and say I have mashed potatoes for dinner, I have chicken for dinner, and then I have beans or peas for dinner. What I do is with each food, I just visualize, okay, if this was the only food left and I could only eat this all day long, how many servings would this be? One box of mashed potatoes would be 1 day. One bag of rice would be 2 days for my family, or however you're going to do it. That's an easy way of estimating how much food you have. And then I just go through and see how much food I have and see how many days or years worth I have of food. And so I don't make it complicated. I don't make up meal plans, nothing like that. We're going to get into this just a little bit more, but it's a rotating pantry. You should be always using the food in your stockpile, always. It's not for a rainy day. It's to continually be restocked and used so that you're always moving your food and using up your food and nothing goes bad. Did you have something you want to say?
Well, I do the same thing like Tara does, as far as figuring, like tuna has like 2 servings in a can of tuna, let's say. So then I know that's 2 meals for me, one person. But what I would do is I would figure out, just like she said, and do it just for one person might make it easier. And if you figure out for one person, then after you get that amount figured, you've got 4 in your family, then just multiply times 4 or 3, because I just had a feeling we'd be having people ask, well, how many do I figure for 2, or how many do I figure for 3 people, or just 1? That's how you do it. You figure out for one person what you have and then just multiply it by however many you're saving for.
I mean, it's honestly, it's not rocket science.
No, it might take some basic, simple math. I look and I see I've got 10 cans of tuna. I know there's 2 servings. That's 20 meals I have in tuna instantly. Look how long that took me to figure that, Or the chicken I have, the cans of chicken is like 5 meals. Okay, so I've got 10 cans of those. That's 50 meals for me, one person. 50 meals is more than a month and a half just of main dinner meals,
Yeah.
Or if you want to include, so I do it that way for main meals. So 50, that's 50 servings of that chicken is a month and a half then of chicken that I have. So that's how you can do it.
Yeah. So, I mean, people make this way more complicated than it needs to be, but really just keep it simple. Just envision one box of mashed potatoes is 1 day's worth of food, or however many servings is in there, and then just go through and multiply each type of food. So,
well, and then once you get it figured out, you might, if you want to, write it down. So at first to remember, I got 10 cans of tuna equals 20 meals. So just write that down on a list if you need to at first. I've just got it memorized, so I don't really need to. But if you need to, write it down on a list. Then you can go in there instead of doing all the calculations again. You can look at the list and think, oh dear, I've only got 5 cans of tuna and I need 10. And you just decide, do I want a year's supply or 2 years supply? Or what do I have room for? I usually wouldn't go over 2 years personally, for me being one person. I do extra in case more. But, 2 years or so is just a nice average. And when you get up to there, then you can stop buying. What I do now is I get a can of tuna out and I use it and I write it on my grocery list. I need a can of tuna.
Yep.
And then you won't have to ever figure it again once you get that basic 2 years in there or whatever.
All right, guys, our cookbooks are on sale, 35% off right now. We have volume 1 and volume 2. They go together but can be used separately. It's just these didn't fit into here. You can see it's almost 600 pages, 1,200 recipes and tips, and then 800 recipes and tips in our volume 2. Then we have our gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook, guys. It is also 35% off. Our planners, are they 10% off, Mike?
Yes, they are.
Planners are 10% off, and our brand new print price book is 35% off also. So for those of you wondering when we were going to have the price book in print, right there, you can see I'm going to do on next week's video, I'm going to be showing how to use this. And I was going to go fill this out, and I was sitting here looking at it before the show, and I told Mom, I said, well, it's kind of weird to fill it out when I already have all my prices. So for you guys wondering, over a year is my target price that I put in there. So if you're wondering what a good price is, now it's going to vary in your area, but
she just gave that for an example.
That's an example, so you can just get an idea on how to do that. Okay, the next question was, can you take off the sale mic? The next comment, I should say, was, oh, gotta love this one. I'm sorry, but it still looks cluttered. Okay, it's a pantry, people. Listen, this is a pantry. This is a working pantry.
I was going to say, this is an everyday used pantry.
It's supposed to
not
have
a
food
magazine.
in it. She's got food in it. It's neatly stacked. It's working well for her. She has it neat and tidy so she can find all her stuff. We are not going for an HGTV look like this. We are not going for a Better Homes and Garden look like this. This is ridiculous. Guys, your pantry is supposed to be just that, a working pantry. Now, my pantry personally is a showcase. I get that. Because for videos, I have to do that. But my practical pantry downstairs, which you guys see all the time, and I forgot to get pictures I'll have to put in here. But you guys can just go look at my Stockpile Pantry other videos. But it's not decorated. It looks like a grocery store. It is a usable pantry.
Yeah, and if you've got a husband or kids, you're not going to have a Better Homes and Garden pantry. I'm sorry. And the more people you have in your family, it's going to get used and things are going to get moved around. And I'm not sure what she was thinking, because maybe she lives by herself and keeps things perfectly. But, guys, you've got to realize that different people have different lifestyles. And some people, I live by myself. I can keep my pantry organized and straight all the time. When I had kids at home and a husband, oh my goodness, I was lucky just to get the shelves wiped down once in a while. You've got to be a little lax here. Just because you can keep things perfectly. Okay, I'm going to do my pet peeve, because I've mentioned this before and I get frustrated with this. And I don't know if this is on pantry. I'll probably make it too long. But anyway, I have heard so many older gals talk about organizing, and not even necessarily older gals, but they are organizing group gurus. And they say you need to do this, and your pantry, your house, your cabinets can all look like this. And I look at these things and I think that is not practical, the things they're teaching and the things they're showing. And I began to wonder, I thought, do these people even have kids at home, that do this? Well, come to find out, if I name their names right now, you guys, everybody across the world will know these people.
We'll just say Marie Kondo. Let's just say it.
Well,
we're just going to say it.
But what happened is, and then another one, that
Fly Lady,
that she come to find out, like she just had her house was
one kid.
Yeah, her house was a mess until her one kid got into high school, and she only had one child at the time, and that type of thing. And then Marie she wrote later on, just recently, she said, I can't believe, and this is kind of quoting from her, she said, I can't believe what I told people to do, because I now have kids and none of the stuff I said works with kids, and so this is what happens is people have their own lifestyle and they don't understand what it's like to have 5 kids under the age of 7. They have no clue, no idea. Or if they do, they don't, they think in a different way and everything. So come on, everybody has different lifestyles, different needs, and you've got to just relax. I don't care what anybody's pantry looks like. I'm not going to be standing in their pantry. I go to my friend's house to go see my friend. I don't go there to look at her pantry. So yeah. I'm sorry, I had to get that out.
Do you feel better now?
I feel much better.
Okay. Vicki says, how does it work with figuring food? Because one serving of mashed potatoes isn't a full meal, because one serving works if you are eating with other items. Because one serving of mashed potatoes is around 150 calories. So all you do is, let's say you have a 1,200 calorie diet. One box of mashed potato has 10 servings. So that's 150 calories for 10 servings. That's a 1,500 calorie diet. So just estimate one box of mashed potatoes per person per day is the calorie needs. Stop making this so hard. You guys are just making these things way too hard. Just estimate. Most people need 1,200 calories to survive. 1,500 is the best. So you would just know one box of mashed potatoes, if it has 10 servings at 150, is 1 day's worth of calories. And then you can just figure up all your food that way, and you'll have an estimation. Now, if you want to get more particular and say, well, we need this much protein and this much carbs, whatever, then you can go ahead and add up your canned meats separate if you want, to make sure you have enough meat. But really, don't make this harder than you need to. It's all about just eating calories when you're in survival mode.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We're talking more real emergency. And another thing too is, I know, like with my graham crackers that I have every morning for breakfast, I go through one package or one box of graham crackers a week. A lot of you do food that you know how much you use a week. Do you go through 2 boxes of cereal a week? So you can figure it up like that too a little bit, or look at your past grocery. If you keep your past grocery receipts, you can look and see how many boxes of cereal did I buy in this month or in 2 months' time. Add that up. And if it's 10 boxes, then for 2 months, you need 10 boxes of cereal.
Okay, guys, go ahead and put your questions in the comment section, and we will get to them as soon as we're done with the ones from the video. Question: I never keep anything over a year old in my storage. I would like to know what everyone thinks on this.
Oh, dear.
Okay, you're crazy if you're doing that. Sorry, but really, expiration dates are with the exception of meat and dairy products, expiration dates are a suggestion.
Fresh meat,
not
right?
Well, yeah, fresh meat, not canned meat.
Yeah.
But expiration dates are just a suggestion. They aren't set in stone or anything. So pretty much anything in a can will last 10 to 20 years past the expiration date. Literally, it will.
Mm-hmm.
Rice will last 10 to 20 years past the expiration date. White rice, not brown rice. Brown rice will only go about 6 months, so don't store that. Then, let's see, cereals and grains, any of your wheat products that don't have additives. So we're talking like plain macaroni, plain spaghetti, plain noodles, those kinds of things will last 5 to 10 years past the expiration date. Did you have something?
Well, no, I was just going to say, don't get so hung up on the expiration dates and worry about them so much. You aren't going to be poisoned, if it goes past that. It's not poisoning that you need to worry about. The only thing, if it on the expiration date, is it might not taste quite the same, although I've never had a problem with it tasting past the expiration date bad or anything like that. It just won't have the same potent flavor. It won't hurt you. You can still eat it. And in an emergency, you will be eating it, But also, you shouldn't be worrying about it, because what you need to worry about more is getting your pantry organized enough so you can keep that food rotating out, so you don't have to worry about the expiration dates going over. Everybody's worrying about the expiration dates, but worry more about getting that pantry usable and organized so that you won't have to get yourself in that situation.
Yeah, because the whole point is to use the food you have.
Yeah. I was going to say too, we're answering questions right now on the pantry, but if you guys have other questions too about anything, we'll answer them, but go ahead.
Okay. So guys, let me know. Type 1 if you eat expired foods. I'm curious how many people eat quote unquote expired foods. Really, like fresh meats, you don't really want to eat past the expiration date.
Yeah, that's
fresh meat. Frozen meats, you can go a year, 18 months. I had a viewer last year cook a 5-year-old turkey in the freezer.
Yeah, I've heard that
and it
a
was
lot
fine.
Of times.
Yeah, see, everybody eats foods that are expired, and they're still alive chatting with us. So.
About 3 weeks or so ago, I went and restudied this, and I checked the health departments and all these different things and went through what they said. And they said, you don't need to worry about the expiration dates. They said the same thing Tara just said. It's just something. I think personally they started doing it just so you'll buy more food, throw stuff away and buy more food.
Probably. All right. So the next question is, not sure if this is addressed. Can you use boxed chicken broth 1 year past the date safely? Yes. Okay, so until we started doing these grocery audits, I had no idea how many people use the boxed chicken broth. And I'm going to be in next week's grocery audit. I'm going to be showing you. But do you realize you are paying 5 times the amount of money for boxed chicken broth over using the cubes?
Oh, yeah.
That is ridiculous. And it's the same exact thing. All they do for the boxed chicken broth is take the cubes and make it and add water
to them
for you.
Plus storage, it doesn't take up as much room, and I think it kind of lasts longer.
Yeah,
than.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But as far as how long can you use it, I would say a year or two at least past the expiration date. There's no meat in it, unless you buy the fancy schmancy stuff, which has to be frozen or refrigerated anyway, because that has been used with actual meat bones. There's no meat in broth or the bouillon cubes. It's just flavorings. So you're not going to get sick.
And what you've got to realize, this food that's in these cans and stuff like that, and even the cartons like the broth.
The bouillon cubes is what we're talking about, guys.
Yeah, but the cans and things, all these things that have been packaged like this, they have been sterilized and then re-sterilized and packaged in such a way that bacteria cannot get into there. Bacteria is what causes poisoning. And so the chances of you getting something from fresh organic fruits and vegetables are better than expired canned goods. And you've got to wrap your mind around that and realize that, because the same way with frozen foods, they're sterilized in these packages, and vacuum sealed, a lot of them, and that type of thing. Germs cannot get into there because it's in a sanitized environment until you open the can.
Somebody's asking where to buy the bouillon cubes. Just in the soup aisle is where they are.
Yeah.
So they're in the soup aisle. Sometimes they'll be in the spice aisle, but usually I find them in the soup aisle. So, okay, guys, our October sale is on right now. Diane Dime Cookbooks, 35% off right now. You guys, if you want to learn how to cook, this is the book for you. If you want to learn how to cook gluten-free, dairy-free, I'm gluten-free, dairy-free. Right there. That's what I use.
And it's easy recipes. Easy recipes
with ingredients you already have on hand.
Mm-hmm.
Next one. I was considering placing goods in the basement. Lowest temp is 55 degrees. Will that be okay? Yes, that is perfectly fine. Now, in the video with my friend Lois, where we were organizing her pantry, I talked about how she put her stuff in the garage. Yeah, that's a no-no. We found out that it ruined a lot of her canned goods because she had them in the garage, and the temperature fluctuation was actually messing with the metal can, and it made all of her food taste like metal. So she's getting rid of those. She's going to test them first to see if they taste okay. But if they taste bad, she's going to have to throw it out. So.
And in the garage, the heat is a real problem. Basement, you can think of a basement more like the old-fashioned cellars that they used to store their food in, because usually in basements it's cooler and stays cooler and that type of thing.
Yeah. All right. I have a bookcase that is 3 cans wide, almost up to the ceiling of my pantry on one side. I did have an anchor to the wall. Hello, Janelle. Okay, so let's talk about this for just a minute, because I showed in her video a spot that she had. Listen, these are all made out of bookcases, and look at how they have stood these up against the wall, and they've just turned them into a pantry. Now, that is a definite easy way to go ahead and make another pantry if you need more space. So just look for a shelf at the thrift store garage sales, and you can just make a pantry out of a bookcase. So don't limit yourself. Like my friend Lois is in a rental house. Well, if she finds a really skinny bookshelf, she could set it there if she needs more space. She said she has plenty, so she probably doesn't need to. But yeah,
and those are open shelves, but you could find at garage sales shelving that has the doors on them. That if you have to store something, say in a living room, get a nice one at a garage sale that has doors, and you can just have it sitting in one area of your, like a closet, not a closet, but you know what I mean. And with the doors on it, you won't be able to tell that it's a pantry.
Yeah. Yvette says, I'm terrified of Boeing. Okay, don't be afraid of it. I notice a lot of this is run by fear.
Yeah.
Just put your canned goods on there. If you see that it's Boeing, then take some off.
Or
and move them to different.
Put light cereal boxes in the center and canned goods over on the edge where it's sturdier. And, and do that. You can put your boxes of tea in the center and then put the heavier canned goods on. Kind of sit and think this through and think, okay, what's causing the Boeing so much weight? So just spread it out, the heavier stuff to the edges, or the heavier stuff on the bottom, that type of thing.
Okay, next question. I have canned goods in my garage, and it gets very hot in there in the summer, and the temperature can fluctuate. However, the expiration date on the cans are not expired. Does that apply to canned goods past expiration date? So you're just going to have to test the food and see. The ones that my friend Lois had were not expired. And the heat and cold fluctuation in her garage caused them to taste metallic and taste off. So you'll just have to open it up and try it.
It's like two different things. Expiration date's one situation, and the heat and temperature flux is another one. So you treat them kind of differently.
Yeah, but as a general rule, we have discovered that putting them in the garage is not a good idea. So
now I store my water in the garage. That's one thing I do store in the garage, but I replace it and, every 6 months or so. So that's why that works.
Yeah,
It's just water.
Yeah. But should my friend Lois be buying some turkeys on sale? So in that video, Michael put the link in there for you guys to go watch it later if you want. But in that video, I told her, stop buying food. You should not buy anything for at least 6 months. She has some stuff she wants to get paid off. And so she could easily, I bet she could easily come up with $6,000 or $8,000 probably if she just went 6 or 8 months, maybe 9 months without buying any food to get some of that stuff paid off and get ahead on it. And so, what about the upcoming holiday sales? Well, so what I would do is I would get 1 or 2 turkeys and put them in her freezer. She still had space. A few things, like if she just knows she uses baking powder, baking soap, powdered sugar. She bakes a lot. So like powdered sugar is going to be going on sale for Thanksgiving and Christmas. She knows she uses 1 package of powdered sugar every month. Okay, then go ahead and stock up at Thanksgiving or Christmas for the next year when it's on sale. But then don't buy any more for the rest of the year. And Mike and I were talking about doing a video on this, showing you guys, it's a concept that is so simple, but we're noticing nobody is grasping it. If you buy chicken on sale right now, let's say you spend $10 on chicken on sale instead of spending $20. Then you take that extra $10 and buy something else more on sale, like extra chicken, then you're going to start building up your stockpile with everything that's on sale. And you eventually get to the point where you don't pay full price for hardly anything. And so,
see, I just cooked this past week a chunk of hamburger that I got. And so I cooked this chunk of hamburger, and after cooking it all up, I now have 6 months. I know that chunk will last me what I cooked up for 6 months, and I put it in the freezer. So what I'll do now is when hamburger goes on sale again, I'll go buy me 1 chunk that's not cooked yet and just leave it in the freezer. And so now I've got my bases covered. I got 6 months, of cooked in there, and then I bought 1 on sale for that way I can take my time to buy 1 on sale is what I'm saying, because I've got enough cooked in there to last me for a few months.
Yep. Okay, let's see. Here's the turkeys, and the next one was, okay, so there's the turkeys on sale to show you guys. Yes, they will go on sale again. What about storing stuff in various places along with the pantry? Okay, so yes, this is a total viable option under the couch. You can use, those are all dresser drawers. You can use baskets. You can use drawers on rollers. You could just get those at Home Depot. Stack them under a coffee table with a tablecloth, or you could use a trash can with a board on top for a side table. And make it that way. You could store under, the Provident Prepper here has these under the bed storage containers, and you can just put them in there and pull them out. Let's see. You can see how much he's got in there. He's got a lot in there.
I was going to say, I have plastic like that, the same type of thing that lifts up and opens from each end, and they go the whole length of the bed. I have 3 of them. They go the whole length that I put under the bed.
And then you can see here, they just stacked it under the bed. Now, I honestly wouldn't do this because you can't pull the canned goods out to move stuff. So I would at least put it in boxes, short boxes that the cans come in or something.
Well, but under my bed, mine's long, and I just can slide the one end out easily, lift up the lid from one side, pick out what I need, put the lid back, and slide it under. Now, here's a little tip.
Like this picture here.
Yeah, and here's a little tip. I put my bed up on short risers, just little short risers. And that way I can get a deeper, tote thing underneath.
Yep.
And my bed's not too high. So if you need to, raise your bed up just a couple of inches, and that'll give you, even more storage space.
Yeah. Okay, so the next question is, what if the can is dented or anything like tomatoes? So yeah, I mean, if your can looks like this, like my pumpkin did, or if it looks like this, or if it looks like this, I would not eat that food. Because what happens is, see, even though it doesn't look, now this might be okay if it's still intact, but that's what my pumpkin looked like. And it was really bad. So what happens is a small pinhole gets in there, even if it looks okay, and the air gets in and bacteria gets in. So it's time to vote, guys. Let me know. Do you guys, type 1, if you eat dented cans, type 2, if you do, no way. I'll be honest. I have eaten dented cans. If the food smells good and it's just a little dent on the top, I have done it. Now, after my pumpkin incident, I'm probably not going to do it again. That was pretty gross.
Yeah.
I still want to throw up thinking about it. So, I mean, it's kind of up to you, but you can see if it smells bad.
Yeah.
So.
And years ago, we didn't have as good of sales and things quite like what they do now. And they had bins of dented cans or cans without labels. And we would do them then. They weren't quite as bad as these that you showed, but I stopped doing that now. I just don't trust them anymore because I've seen too, much stuff.
Yeah. If it's very slightly dented, I might. But
if the top of it, where that lip thing is bent just a little bit or something. Then.
Yeah. Next, there's no way I would eat 16-year-old ham canned food, even if it was kept in optimum conditions. If they haven't been eaten in all that time, never will be. I think it's more sentimentality than anything. I would definitely keep the jars, though, I think is what she meant to say. Yes. So here's the thing. She had food in there that was 16 years old. She said she was still using it and it was still fine, and that's fine. If the seal's not broken, then she probably can. But if you haven't eaten food, I would say in probably 5 to 6 years, if you're not using it within that amount of time, first of all, you're not doing your stockpile correctly. Yeah. You're not rotating your food. And secondly, stop buying food you're not going to eat. If you don't like it or don't want to eat it, get it eaten up and get done, and don't buy or can any more of it.
I don't want to sound like a parrot, but once again, see, we're concentrating on the expiration dates and how long you've had them instead of concentrating on organizing your pantry so these things don't happen,
Yeah, the whole point is to stop letting these things happen.
Yeah, and then pantry. You won't have to worry about the expiration dates.
Okay, next one. Oh, so here's the picture. So here's the picture for you guys. In case you were wondering, these were the cans that we had found in her pantry buried. And she has decided she's probably just going to go ahead and throw those out. So, and then about all the candy from schools. When I was in elementary school, our parties consisted of 2 cookies and a punch. Yes. When my youngest was in kindergarten 25 years ago, I was flabbergasted to see the unreal amount of junk at the parties. There was no reason almost every parent had to bring something. The amount of soda, candy, chips, cookies, etc. was absolutely ridiculous. Okay, I got a little rant on this. I'm not kidding. This is what comes home from the school parties. There is no reason for this much candy to be coming home from school parties. And parents, it's okay to say no. I finally got to the point with, well, it took me 4 kids to learn this, but I finally got to the point with Jack. I was like, I'm not volunteering for this stuff. It was the last party I volunteered for in 3rd grade for him. It was a zoo. It was absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. There was 2 teachers combined in a classroom. No one was in charge. I am not exaggerating when I say there was 10 to 15 pounds of grapes. There was 10 to 20 pounds of oranges. There was, I don't know how many, probably 10, 15 packages of cheese sticks. I don't know how many containers of juice drinks for 40 kids. The amount of food was absolutely absurd. Absolutely absurd. And when we had clash parties and mom was the room mother, she brought one cookie for each person, and that was it. And then you went to the water fountain and got a drink.
Yeah. Well, usually 2 moms, and we'd bring enough cookies for them. But another thing too, everything's just like chaos. We were told how much to bring, everybody just says, bring this. And the moms just bring huge amounts. Everybody just wants to bring stuff. But, I noticed a difference in the kids. It was so funny. When the kids at their school, when I showed up with the cookies and the stuff for the party, the kids were all excited, of course, because it was going to be the class party, and you could tell they were wiggly and excited. And the teacher said, okay, now, you know what I told you that we have to do when Mrs. Cooper gets here. So she's here. So go ahead and sit down at your desk, get out your placemat, and get ready. And those kids all immediately sat down on their desks, pulled out a little placemat they'd made and set it on top of their desk and sat there quietly while we passed out the cookies and stuff. It's like now it's just total chaos for, everything for the parties, thrown in with all the amounts of food and stuff like that. It's just things are just a little bit out of control.
So the whole point of this is to tell you parents who are watching, it's okay to say, no, I'm not volunteering for this. This is ridiculous. I'm not doing it. So
you're not a bad parent if you say no.
You are not by any stretch of the imagination. Mike, can you go ahead and send me the first batch of questions? Guys, our Dining on a Dime cookbooks are 35% off right now for our October sale. Volume 1 and Volume 2 go together, but you can use them separately. If you're going to start somewhere, start with Volume 1. Easy recipes with ingredients you already have at home that are cheap, fast, in and out in the kitchen.
And good.
Taste good. Our gluten-free, dairy-free edition tastes really good. No sandy cookies in this one, let me tell you. And then our price book, which we just got, guys. Notice what I did there. See what I did? I matched for all of you matchy people. Our daily planner, 400-page, 365 undated planner is 10% off. And then our new price books we just got this week are 35% off. Also, you can get started on saving at the grocery store. All right. Now, a lot of you guys said you were missing the Tightwad Tuesdays. So we're going to show you a couple of things that we did, that we did this week for Tightwad Tuesday. So one of our viewers sent me this material, and look what Mom did for me. Whoops, I don't know if we can do it here. Hold on. There. Can you see that? Didn't that turn out cute? Look at that.
This fabric was so much fun. I'd never had a line of fabric like this before. I mean, the colors all went together. She sent us all these different types of things, and I was so excited to try it. And I thought, because I've never used, something like that.
And then here is the back.
That's the back.
Isn't that cute? So thank you for sending me that material. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, I had fun with that one. I really did.
So that's going to be on my couch. Thank you, Mother. And then we had a viewer send me.
So soft. I've never felt.
Send me this.
This soft.
Isn't that cute? I just about died when I saw that.
It is just like, I can't even describe it. Besides being cute.
It's super, super soft.
It is.
And then another viewer, she lives in New York by Harney and Sons Tea Company. And she sent me their two, I think these are new teas, cranberry and hot spice.
Oh, that sounds
delicious.
Good.
Thank you.
You tried them already?
Of course I did.
Oh.
They are very delicious. Thank you. I appreciate it. Okay. And then while Mike's getting me the next questions here, I guess it might help to open my email. Here is, let me show you real quick. Okay. So I had a neighbor that saved my geraniums. I so appreciate her. While we were gone, we had a freeze. she had to come over twice. I felt so bad because first we had a frost and then we had a freeze. So I was going to show you guys. I got this basket for 25 cents at the thrift store yesterday. And these spice mixes, can you move the cell thing, Mike? The spice mixes are, I made them up out of our Dining on a Dime cookbooks. So they're in case you guys are wondering, they're in volume 1 right here. And it was a fundraiser for my son's school. And so I had extras left and she just loved them. So I put these all together in a basket for her. And then I put a little bow and a thank you card and I left it on her doorstep. So that was my deal at the thrift store yesterday, one of them. Then Mom went to a garage sale and she found this mixer for $2 for me. I haven't tried it yet. Are you sure it's stir and whip?
I don't know.
Oh, you didn't test it?
I did test it, but I couldn't tell very good.
Oh, okay. So we'll see, because I was needing one that had stir and whip on it. So hopefully this one will work. And then Mom found, how much was your little jar?
It was 50 cents, but it had flowers in it too. So we got
flowers. 50
and
cents with the, and this is not the flower that was in it. It was a big
bouquet of
but
flowers.
You can see my last zinnia of the season right there. That's it. That's the only one left. They all froze while we were gone. So that was my last zinnia. And then you can see here, Mom dehydrated. So how many bags of tomatoes was that?
I don't know. I did about 15 trays maybe.
Oh,
yeah.
That's 15 big. We have a big dehydrator too. It's not a little one.
Yeah.
15 dehydrator trays of my tomatoes. That's all it came out to be. Wow, they got a lot of water in there. And then I got Mike this pair of jeans for $1 at the thrift store yesterday. I wasn't even looking for jeans, but they happen to have the kind he wears. And so I was like, ooh, that was $1. So that was a good deal.
This wasn't a super good deal, but I got this top new for $2. And
well, why isn't that a super good
deal? Well, I
deal?
guess I usually pay $1 for my tops, so that's why it's $2 is a little more expensive.
It's a good deal. Just don't listen to my mother.
But it's a really fancy one. I forget what the name of it is, but it's really nice. It's a super nice. And then I got a couple of Old Navy things for $2. So
well, there you go. Yeah. Louise, do I grow my zinnias from seed? Yes, I do. So I grow most of them from seed. I'm going to try and get my grow stands up. Well, if we're still here in February, my grow stands in February. I'm going to try and get my grow lights up is what I'm trying to say.
Are you moving?
No, I mean, if the rapture happens,
oh,
then
if the rapture happens. Oh,
but I'm actually, Mike doesn't know this yet. And you guys can't see, but
I see him up there. I see your grow light.
Thinking about taking the lights out of the studio here. We have fluorescent lights here, and I'm going to make me grow lights out of them.
You can take them.
So, oh, thanks, dear. And then put them up in.
Something else.
Well, we already have
like 25 lights up there.
All we have to do is replace the light bulbs with our big studio lights. So I think we'll be good with that. But yeah, so that was our thrift haul for yesterday. All of my flowers are gone except for those geraniums, and a few petunias made it through. But we're supposed to have snow on Wednesday. Is anybody else getting snow? We're supposed to have snow on Wednesday. So yeah. So yes, Nancy, I do save the seeds for my zinnias. And so what I do is I guess I should have taken a picture, but I cut the head off, label what the seed color is, what the zinnia color is, and then I let them dry out really well, and then I put them in baggies. So that's how I do it. Okay, let's get to questions here. And yes, Catherine, thank you for the tea. I did love those. Okay. Tiffany, she ordered all 3 cookbooks yesterday.
Oh, thank you
for ordering. Yes, 35% off right now. And this is a great time to get them, guys. If you want to know how to cook turkey for Thanksgiving and how to make the perfect pie crust, right here. This is it,
We've
folks.
got good dressing in there. We got a lot, even how to
Yes.
mash potatoes. If you're a new cook, we tell you how to mash potatoes, and that type of thing. So
I moved up the Thanksgiving book in the list of books too, so they can find
Oh, yes. So we also have a Thanksgiving ebook Mike put in there for you guys to find also. Okay. Now, let's see. Vicky says, must have read my mind. Just wondering if y'all are going live. Yes, I'm very sorry for last week, guys. If you were wondering what happened, we went on vacation to Branson, Missouri, and just simply forgot to let everyone know because we were trying not to work and let everyone know that we weren't doing a live show. So yes, it was kind of weird because we drove through Kansas and Colorado and it was like, okay, I know I live here, but it didn't feel like I'd ever lived there. It was like an alternate life.
I get that sensation.
It was
a lot.
like here, we're finally living where we're supposed to be living. Like I have never in any of my houses ever, not even growing up, felt like it was home.
No.
Ever.
Well, and two, it's like the minute we moved there, a year or two after we got there, we were planning on moving again. Mike got a job in Washington. We moved up to Idaho. So we were planning to move there. Well, before we got moved to Washington, they were moving to Kansas. So it was just like we're always in perpetual moving.
Keller says, I use the cookbooks all the time, at least once a week. And Susan says, if you are stuck for any reason, the cookbooks are a great read.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you guys mentioned that for everybody in case they're wondering.
So go ahead. You can get on camera.
No, I was going to say Kimberly just made a comment you might want to see.
Kimberly says, well, when I figured when you did a live in Branson on Tuesday, there was no show on Wednesday. I figured you were traveling. Yes, we were. And it's funny because everywhere we went, we got recognized. And so what happened was a family that Jack and Dave were friends with moved. The mom had to get that thing in her arm or lose her job. So she chose to resign, but they had to move to Missouri. So she had a job. So Jack and Dave were really sad that their friends were gone. So they happened to be going to Branson. And we said, well, we'll come down. Well, another family from the school decided to go out there also from here. And then one of our viewers, who's now our friends, hello, Erica and JJ, and they have a daughter who's the same age as all the kids, and she's homeschooled because they travel on the road a lot. And so we all ended up converging together. It was really funny, but it was a lot of fun. But it was funny because our other friends that are still here, we kept getting recognized where we were, and they were like, we didn't know Tara and Mike were famous. So it was pretty funny because when the viewers would come up, they just got this funny look on their face like, why are these strangers talking to our friends? It was pretty funny, but yeah. So, but we had a really good time. Okay, let's see. Next question was, Sierra says, my husband and I were just talking about stocking our deep freeze yesterday. Yes, guys, with everything that's going on, I would definitely not put off getting your stockpile in order. I have a feeling gas prices are going to be going up soon. Our gas all comes from the Middle East. Thank you. So even if we could get all of our gas production back into going, it would take months.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
For it to get for everything that they've ruined, it would take months for us to get back into production and back going again. And so I would really expect the price of gas to spike fairly significantly pretty soon. And so that means the price of everything is going to be going up again. So I would definitely start stocking up because things are just literally going berserk. And so, yeah, that's what I would do if I were you. Diana, what's on sale for Thanksgiving? I'm setting aside $25 a week for stocking up. I'm eating what I have in my freezer. Good job. Good. I am too. Turkeys. powdered sugar, brown sugar, sweetened condensed milks,
Regular sugar.
regular
and
flour.
Sometimes butter will go on sale.
Ham and butter. Those are all big ones right there.
I get my pumpkin for the year.
Yeah.
I buy all the pumpkin that I might be using. And on pumpkin, if you guys, we put the pumpkin bread recipe up and you guys really love that. But I don't know if many of you realize this. You can take the pumpkin recipe we have in dining, just the regular pumpkin pie filling. You don't have to have a crust to make that. Just bake it you can bake it in a pie pan or a ceramic, small ceramic dish, and just bake it like a custard just like it says, 375 you bake it at or something. Mix up the filling, stick it in the oven at the.
Now, if you need a good pie crust, right here, and gluten-free also.
But if you've got an excess of pumpkin and you think, I don't want to mess with a pie crust, or even I don't have one, then just use it as a custard, if you need to use it up.
Sweet potatoes also go on sale. Thank you, Becky. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Mary Ellen says, I like using leftovers to make a totally different dish. I boiled my pasta and threw in all my leftover chicken and vegetables in the fridge. Yes,
very
exactly.
Good. That's the way to do it. Or rice. You could cook up rice and throw in that and spread cheese on top of it. Another thing I just thought of for going on sale is stuffing. Stuffing's a good dish to have throughout the year. You don't just have to have it on Thanksgiving. You can have it for other times.
Yep. Karen, I'm just glad the kids can get everything into the pantry. Yeah. I mean, seriously. And maybe one of those things where they just get it there and then you once a month or something go in and reorganize it. But yeah. Emily, so sorry you're not feeling well. Belinda. That's a clever way to work out how much food per family. Yes. Just multiply it. People make these things out to be so difficult. They have these charts and these sheets and everything. Just add up the number of servings, how many calories you need a day. Around 1,500 would be on the very low end of maintaining weight. They say about 2,000, but we're just going on survival here. So 1,500. And then, Patricia says, my husband keeps buying meat and not on sale. My freezers are so full, it's almost impossible to rotate. Don't let them go to the grocery store.
Yeah. Sometimes it's better kind of to keep the husbands away from the grocery. If that's what's happening, you have to.
Yeah.
And just talk to, I see a lot of husbands and wives are really on the same page, but they're not talking to each other to find out that they are on the same page, So talk about this stuff, guys.
Mike, can you go to Amazon for our affiliate? For Queen's Ride By and get the link, please. Yes. Katie says, thank you for recommending When Queens Ride By. It was only 99 cents on Kindle. As a wife, mother, and homemaker, it was really eye-opening to see how women struggled back then too, just like we do. Yep.
Queens Ride By is really one of my favorites. And I always recommend everybody to read it like in January, right after Christmas, because it makes you get motivated, and for the next year. But it's a really good. It's just a little tiny thing too. You can read it in like
just a short story
pamphlet thing.
Share the Amazon Kindle version.
Yeah.
In our store. Okay.
Or we have it in our store.
Yeah, but it's $5 in our store.
Oh, how much is it on Amazon?
One.
Oh, if it's cheaper on Amazon, go ahead and
make it $1 in our store.
Well, go ahead and make it $1 in our store, then we'll get more money. Okay, Mike's gonna make it $1 in our store, so give him just a second, and you guys will get it for $1.
But it's worth. It's just
actually, you know what? Just make it for free, Mike. That'll be our freebie for today. Okay, that'll be our freebie for today. Give Mike like 2 minutes to get it changed.
It's only about 20 pages or something, not very much, but it's changed more people's lives reading it in the way you look at being a mom, being a homemaker, taking care of your home type of thing. It inspires you it's really amazing.
Okay, so let me show you here. Belinda says our graham crackers a sweet biscuit cookie. We don't have them in Australia. So yes, it's like a cookie. And let me share screen right here. Just a second. This is what they look like. Can you see that? That is what it looks like. And so these two pieces here are together, and you just break them in 2 or quarters if you want. And that is graham crackers, and that's what they look like. All right, next question. Becca, is 1,200 to 1,500 calories per person for weight loss? Yes. But what I'm saying is, I was just throwing out a calorie count. 2,000 calories is probably what you want to go by for maintaining optimum health, if you can. But if you can't, 1,200 to 1,500 would be survival calories for you to do. Now, if you're doing heavy labor, of course you're going to need more calories.
I was going to say, you really,
Just
that's a
use your
ballpark
brain.
figure. You have to
Yeah.
adjust it up or down. You know, a child of 3 is not going to need 3,000 or 2,000 calories,
Yeah.
you know.
Mars says, I have a cluttered pantry, trying to find things is interesting. Well, unclutter it. Get it together. Lori says, how many months of food should we store? Just as many as you could get. I mean, I would minimum get 3 months. But a lot of people don't even have a week's worth of food.
I know.
So
yeah, just start
as much as you
just
can.
start building up, you know. And like I say, I like to keep it at least 2 years. And that really depends too, because I say 2 years, I have 1 year that I'll have a big variety of food. And then 2 years, I may have to eat a lot of rice and things like that, you know, instead of having a whole lot of variety. So I stock up on like 2 years or 3 years worth of rice. And then the other stuff, I have at least a year and try to stretch it more. So, you know, you just I would just start getting as much as you can. And another thing, I look at my cans. For example, I have things that expire in 2026. So I'm going to buy through to 2026 at this point, because I know it'll keep till then and past even. That's the expiration date. So I just try to get as much of those as I can too.
Vicky says, or Sierra says, my downfall is buying food that looks good and then getting it home and never gets eaten. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just stop.
So eat before you, at least
Yeah.
try to eat and fill yourself up really full with something before you go. And that might help a little bit.
Vicky says, I try to organize my pantry and my husband moves it all the time. I wish husbands would stay out of the pantry.
I was going to say, that's why I said earlier, if you have a husband or kids, it's a whole different story on pantries.
I have to say, thank you, dear. Thank you. Thank you, dear.
That background on Mike is Tara's backyard. Can you believe that? Isn't that pretty? Not that we don't want to look at your handsome face, Michael, but
It's Tara's backyard?
Tara and Mike's.
You should have shown the red tree too. We'll have to show that. Well, it'll be gone next week, won't it?
Yeah. It will.
Okay, you'll have to take a picture tomorrow of the red tree and use it when we're having snow.
Here's one
There's
in town.
oh
Is that in the front?
no, that's in town.
Oh, in town.
But that we have a red tree like that in our backyard. All right. Next is Lori says she cooked a year-old turkey last week and it was wonderful. Yay.
Mhm.
Robin, so surprised that white rice can be starched so long and brown so short. That's because the brown still has the hull, which has oil. Which spoils.
Always remember, anything with oil, some type of oil, even a small amount, will go rancid is what happens.
Can you send me the next batch, Mike? Karen says, can you get low sodium bouillon cubes? Yes, I think you can. And can you vacuum seal? Kathy wants to know flour and sugar in their original paper wrappings.
You
guess
can,
you could.
you can, but there's no really reason
Yeah.
to do it. The only reason I might consider it is if I had a really bad problem with bugs. But I just put mine in metal cans, the metal popcorn cans that you get at Christmas time. I keep my flour and sugar. Sugar can get hard, you know. It doesn't matter. You can scrape it off. Sugar just doesn't get old or spoil or anything.
You
So
can grate it off. That's how they did it in the old days.
they used to just buy cones of sugar and just grate it. So why waste the time and the energy and the vacuum stuff and everything to the bags and things to, you know, do that? It really doesn't accomplish too much.
Pat says a friend gave me some expired canned goods and she didn't want to use them. I accepted them with no worries. Not sure if it was her or her husband not wanting to eat them, as I made a point to tell him that expired dates don't bother me. Oh, we had one viewer for the grocery audit. Oh my goodness. So she sent me her grocery audit, and then like a week later she sent me a thing, said her son moved in and son and her husband threw out all of her stockpile.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
I would have killed someone.
Oh my goodness.
You would have found me on the news. Lori, do you buy boxed potatoes or bagged? Box for storage.
Yeah,
and
for
then you
store-
can dehydrate regular potatoes. So like when potatoes go on sale at Thanksgiving, that's another thing that goes on sale. Then you
And
can dehydrate them. Yeah.
those, and then I vacuum seal them. Yeah.
Lori, how do you make frozen bread last longer? Well, you can double wrap it, but bread doesn't really go past about 6 months. So
Yeah.
yeah. Melissa says, one of my problems is I have too many different types of oils, vinegar, specialty items. I need to pare down basic items. What type of oil do you want to recommend? The one that you use the most often, use up the rest of them, and then only buy the one you use the most often.
I
So
usually just get the
whatever you want.
Crisco or the
Yeah.
off-brand of just the regular
Canola
vegetable
oil,
canola oil.
whatever vegetable
And
oil.
that's all
You can use olive oil if that's what you prefer, but just pick one and
then,
just stick with that.
Yeah.
Brittany says she ate 2 cans of expired potatoes today. Very good.
Oh, good.
And Tanya ate peanut butter that expired in May. Yes, it should have been
Mhm.
fine. Naomi, how do you keep your ramen from going stale after several months?
I wonder if she lives in a really humid place.
Yeah, maybe if you live in a really humid place, it might, but I've never had that happen. But I've always lived in well, not always, but mostly lived in a dry climate.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Usually those stay pretty good. You might try putting them in the metal cans too. You know, if you live in more humid places. That's what I
Yeah.
did in Kansas.
Brittany says, will jasmine rice stay as long as regular? I don't know. Somebody comment and let her know, because I don't know if it does or not. Let's see. Jan says, I solved the problems of expiration dates. I don't look at them.
That's good.
Oh, man. Vicky says, living in the Southwest, a garage, a shed is the worst place to store food. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Belinda says, I forgot, maybe you mentioned it, videos show past, although why do you feel uneasy purchasing from food pantries or local church ministries? Well, only because the majority of people who go to food pantries can actually afford the food. They just don't want to give up their nails. They don't want to give up the fancy car. They don't want to give up their purses. They don't want to give up getting their hair done. They don't want to give up their kids' sports. They don't want to give up their Starbucks. And so that's where we have the problem with people using food pantries. They can actually afford it. They just don't want to.
Yeah. And they don't want to be careful with their money and, you know, use it wisely and be a wise steward of their money. And what they do then is, so they go to the pantry when they maybe have a job, or they could have been saving money from a job they did have, and they go to that food pantry. Well, there's people that really need the food from the food pantry. And so you're taking away from them, you know, too, on top of everything else. So, but
well, and that's part of the problem. We have so much food now.
I was going to say,
pantries are overflowing with food, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just gotten out of control. But, you know, you need to be responsible for yourself. Don't say, well, we've had a lot of people comment and say, well, you know, I don't worry about getting this or that because you can always go to the food pantry, or they always tell people, go to the food pantry and get stuff. Well, that's a mindset you get in. I'm just going to have the food pantry take care of me. So I don't need to be really responsible. I don't really need to be a wise steward. Like Tara said, I can get all the stuff I want. And then if I don't have money for groceries, fine. I'll just go to the food pantry, you know.
And if you need it, that's fine.
If you need it, of course.
That's not the majority of people.
That's not the point we're talking about. It's a totally different thing.
Nancy, what percentage of your stockpile should be long-term? None of it should be long-term. You should all be using it as you rotate through it. So people think of it as long-term food storage, but you really shouldn't be thinking of it in that terms. You should just be thinking of it as your grocery store in your house that you just use on a regular basis.
Use and replace then. Mm-hmm.
Bounty the Badlands says, do not store your food items directly on the concrete floor. Put a piece of cardboard underneath. Yes. Ron wants to know if we're having any luck finding a used car. Not yet. And yes, we are still looking. Why don't you like Fly Lady? What is wrong with simple routines? So here's the thing. People like Fly Lady, they end up making their routines so simple that they're complicated. So like they're trying to simplify, But in the end, they just end up complicating things when you really don't need to. And so it's fine if Fly Lady
If it
works for
works
you,
for you.
then go for it.
What
But
happens, about 10% of the people, Fly Lady type stuff will work for them. But they don't take into consideration if you've got a newborn, a toddler, you're a single mom. They make a schedule that's they think works for them and works in general, but each person and each family has a totally different need as far as trying to keep organized and keep the house clean. Having 3 kids, little kids, it takes a totally different schedule for a mom that has to go to work and has 3 little kids to take care of by herself than, say, 2 people that live in a house with no kids. But yet they make schedules out a lot of times that you need to do it. Or, for example, change your sheets every Tuesday. Well, my kids would barf or wet the bed on Wednesday or on Monday, I mean. So what good was that going to do for me to change my sheets on Tuesday when I'd already changed them on Monday? But they lock you into a schedule that is not as flexible. And most people, 90% of the people in the world, need a flexible schedule. Make a list of what needs to be done, and then you pick the days to do it and how often you have to, clean your mirror once a week.
dirty.
But it doesn't get dirty once a week, just clean things when they get dirty, because something may need to be cleaned, but that's not scheduled for another week. So then you clean something that doesn't need to be cleaned. It's a whole big conglomerate, that frustrates me. So,
Jenny says, my local rural grocery store has chicken legs and thighs for 99 cents a pound. I like boiling those up and picking the meat from the bones and freezing in baggies for future meals. Yes, our pastor's wife watched the show. She was like, I got chicken quarters and I'm cooking them up. So it was funny. Sunny says, I make broth to freeze and use in meals. After Thanksgiving, I'll be making turkey broth. Yes, I love turkey. I would say turkey's my favorite meat, probably.
And turkey soup, oh my goodness, it's and nobody hardly makes turkey soup, and it's so yummy. And you don't have to have any ingredients, really. It's just the turkey and maybe some noodles or rice.
Yeah. Bounty in the Badlands says the price of fuel, it has to be a super sale to make it worth gas to drive to town for. Yes, in that situation, you need to make sure it's worth going for, but just figure it up. It may be worth it. When I lived 70 miles from town, when chicken went on sale at that time for 25 cents a pound, well, yeah, it was worth it. I would make the 70-mile drive each way to town to go get chicken for 25 cents instead of $2 a pound. So,
and to make it work better, Tara and I went together. So 2 households were getting the sale. You can sometimes work these things out to take advantage of the sales. Find somebody who maybe needs to drive into town too or something like that.
Sarah, I know next week is about our price book, but what is it? Prices on when to stock up and what stores. Yes. So what it is it's for you to fill out for your own store. So I have listed I have 8 pages of the most common ingredients found for cooking. And then I listed over here my price. And I have 3 stores here. You fill in your 3 stores. Don't go to more. Stress yourself out. Then in pencil, I write in Walmart. It's 99 cents. Okay, now Ridley's, my other store, it went on sale for 69 cents. So I know that 69 cents is the cheapest amount. So then if I find it for cheaper than 69 cents, then I know that I'll stock up a lot. If 69 cents is my normal stock up price and I find it cheaper than that, then I'll stock up a lot. Now, we also have right here extra pages for you to fill in your own, like, Pop-Tarts, Hot Pockets, those non-necessity things that a lot of people buy. We left empty spaces. We left a few pages for you guys to do it for that too. Crescent says, I'm about to start making apple and pumpkin pie. I'm going to use your pie crust recipe. It is so good. Yes.
Thank you.
I hate pie crust, and I will actually eat Mom's pie crust. But if you need a gluten-free, dairy-free version, also my gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook, 35% off right now, guys, for our October sale. A lot of people have turned closets into their pantries. Very good. Yes. When are you going to see my new kitchen? Sandra, we did a reveal that video back in June. So just go to the videos and scroll back a couple of videos, probably 20 videos or so, and you'll see it. Lori, how long do you store jars of cheese? Like the queso dip? Wow, I would say that would probably go about 6 months over the expiration date because it has, fat.
Yeah.
Fat
Go
in it.
rancid.
Joni uses a marker to write the date on top of the jars to make it easier. Yes, everyone loves the word matchy. Thank you. Everyone loves the quilt that Mom did.
Oh, thank you, guys.
Jenny says that gnome blanket is so me. Yes, I know. Thank you.
It
I
is
love
her.
it.
But I can get over how soft it is.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
super soft. Denise says she would recommend our cookbooks to everyone. Love the simple, tasty
thank
recipes. Have learned
you.
so much from the tips and way to make odd things. Thank you. Yes, I
Oh.
mean, we even have mustard and mayonnaise and
Ketchup.
and bath bombs and lotion.
Kids stuff
cleaners.
like,
Yep.
chalk and different slime and stuff. We have everything in there.
And let's see. Terry says, I'm having a hard time rotating my pantry. Most of all, my pantry is in one place in the kitchen with a few other areas around the house. What about food items you only eat in a disaster? You should never have food items you will only eat in a disaster. You should have food items that you will eat every day.
Because there's all kinds of canned things and that you eat every day that you can just keep for when you need them, and that type of thing.
Yeah.
So
Lynn buys coffee beans on sale as it lasts longer than ground coffee. Yes, that's very true.
Mhm.
Laura, what is a good price for turkey? I don't know what a good price this year is going to be for turkey. I'm hoping 49 cents a pound, but it very easily could be 69 or 79 cents a pound. So I have no idea what. I won't know until the week before Thanksgiving when they put turkeys on sale. So.
although if you think about it, even 79, 89, 99
still-
cents a pound for turkey is much cheaper than most meats. So you can't hardly go wrong no matter what it is for turkey.
Yep. Ground turkey makes good meatballs. Yes, Bonnie, that is right. Vanessa says, I stopped contributing to school parties when I saw the same thing. I now contribute for other days. Yeah, that don't get me started. Okay, you can send me the next batch, Mike. Jill says, my daughter puts the candy in a cookie jar and doles it out to the kids one piece at a time. Yes, that's fine to do it. More if they ask as payment for chores. Okay, now I don't agree with that. If they went and got the Halloween candy and they got it, the birthday candy, that's a gift that they received. You wouldn't make them go work for their Christmas gifts then to go, like if they got a gift for Christmas, you wouldn't say, oh, you can't have it until you do your chores. Well, I mean, okay, people are going to take this all the wrong way. Like if you ask your kids to do a chore and they refuse to do it, then you can say, no, you're not going to play with your toys until you do your chores. But as a condition for getting the toy,
Receiving the toy,
to be doing your chores, just to receive a gift that they've already received, I don't think that's okay. I don't think that's right.
It's like if you get a stocking, they get a stocking like from Santa or something, and you don't on Christmas morning say, well, as soon as you get all the dishes washed from breakfast, you can have your stocking type of thing.
That's not right. But if they already have the stocking and the toys in the stocking and they've already been playing with them, and then you say,
hey, it's time to clean up the dishes. Yeah,
then you can say, no, you're not playing with your stocking until
we get
you
the dishes
done.
That's probably totally confusing to everybody. I can't wait for the comments we're going to get on that one.
But I don't think that's right.
No,
to hold kids' Halloween
I understand
and
what you're trying to say.
Hostage to do chores. I don't think that's right. So Connie says, our cookbook is the best ever. She donated all of her other cookbooks, including Pioneer Woman. Oh, because ours are better.
That's a compliment. Thank
you. She said, no need to clutter up the shelves with cookbooks she doesn't use. I added that doesn't use.
Also, guys, if you want to look at what we've got in the cookbook, don't we have a video on it in the shop? Is that what it is?
Yeah, you can look through the entire cookbook.
Go to the shop on our website, and it shows page by page what's in the cookbook. If you're wondering what's in there, because we've got so much, people don't realize what types of things. So
Yeah, Jill says, yes, that's what she does. It's a reward for extra chores they don't normally do. It's a reward. Yeah, that's not okay. To take candy that they have received as a gift. No, that's not okay for doing that. Okay. And Hair Tide says 35% off. That's the best deal. Yes, 35% off. Ruth says, I hate it when my son was in kindergarten and every child had to bring a box of tissues. Oh my word.
I know. Don't get started on that.
Here's the thing.
I remember
We didn't
when that
have
was
to
happening.
bring one box of tissues.
I
We
was
had to
gonna
bring
say.
5.
For each one, wasn't it?
Yes.
For each child, 5 boxes, and she had 4
And
kids.
we had to bring, depending on the year, 3 to 5 things of wipes a year.
It was just like,
I'm like, okay, first of all,
we don't
you
even
shouldn't-
use that much in a year at home, let alone for a family, hardly.
You shouldn't have. First of all, they shouldn't have to wipe down their desk every day. Every 2 or 3 days, once a
it's
week
their
should be more
desk.
than
I
plenty.
wouldn't think there'd be that.
More than plenty. There are 70 to 120 wipes in a thing. That should eat one container should easily last the entire school year. I'll give a bonus container for parties and spills. Okay, maybe that's really pushing it. But there's no need for more than 1.5. I'll maybe say 2. That's really pushing it. 2's really pushing it. There's really no need for more than 1 box of, or
I just don't understand
wipes.
what it's really. I went all the way through school, and my kids, and we didn't.
I never wiped my table.
Well, we didn't even
hardly.
have wipes back then. We had no wipes when you were going to school until after you got into high school or so. We didn't have wipes. So how did we survive not using wipes,
Well, this lady says, Jay Moore says, didn't the janitor clean desks? I think they maybe did, but I'm sure they didn't clean every desk every day.
Oh, no.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah, we didn't
There's
have our
no
desks.
way.
What are they doing to the desk? Get the desk that dirty that they need cleaned every day, And what we would do is if we had something on our desk, the teacher would just had us run to the restroom and get a paper towel and dampen it and come and bring it back and we'd wipe it off. And that didn't happen that often.
I'm so thankful for our school we have now because I'm not kidding. The school list was like 6 things. The school supply list was like 6 things. And the public schools have just gotten ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
They need some really odd things too sometimes.
Sorry, that's my.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I remember when she was doing that. Oh my goodness. Each school year we get praised for the list.
So Ruth says, I hated it when my son every kid had to bring a box of tissues. That's 30 boxes of Kleenex. In the spring, they requested you bring another one. I said, no. Yes, this is our point for that. Parents, it's okay to say no and do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. There is no way my child will use an entire box of Kleenex for the entire school year. They don't let they don't let them go to school when they're sick anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. Anyway, Shauna, I decided to stop donating to my kids' school because they asked for $20,000. They used it to buy a rock climbing wall for the kids, except now they won't let them use it because it's too dangerous.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. That is,
The end is near.
There is no common sense left in the world, I don't think. Oh my goodness. I imagine she's having a coronary over that one. Oh, that is so typical though. It is just so typical.
Hair Time said, our turkey recipe is the best turkey roasting instructions.
Thank you.
2-ingredient turkey, guys. It is the only turkey you will ever need.
So easy. I mean, it's so easy.
Mike put the link in for our turkey recipe. I don't know if it's on Super Easy Recipes or Living on a Dime.
Does he have the link
so.
for the video of you splatting it?
The turkey recipe, how to cook the turkey recipes. I don't know if it's on Super Easy or Living on a Dime. No, that wasn't caught on film. It was just a picture. But yeah, I mean, one year it went. My turkey is so, it is so tender.
Yeah, you can't even the carcass out of
Yeah,
the pan
it
because it just
literally falls
falls
off
off.
the bones. I was trying to see if I can find
Recipe or video?
the video. Well, both actually. Can you put both in there, please? I don't know where the picture is. I'll have to look for it. But yeah, I mean, the turkey just falls off the bones.
Mhm.
And so let me see if I can find it here real quick. Nope, I'll have to look for it and get it. But yeah, oh, here it is. Okay. Here it is. Just a second. Let me see how to do this here. Okay, here's this. And I don't want that. Stop that. And hold on just a second.
Oh, Michael's the
Oh,
turkey.
now there's Mike the
Mike's
turkey.
the turkey.
Just a second. Here it is. Oh, no, how do I get the picture up there?
You did it before.
Where is it? You talking
Well,
about off your computer?
yeah, I opened it up on my computer, but how do I share it?
Let's see. Where is it? There was a share thing down below.
Yeah, present. I'm on present, share screen,
Wait till you see this, guys.
but it doesn't show up on my share screen tab. Window. Oh, here. Okay, there you guys go. Here is my turkey on the floor. That's how tender it is. That is how tender it is. It just falls off the bone. Okay.
Oh,
You gotta love me. Okay.
I do. I love you.
Cooking with Cats Lover says I use the cookbooks all the time, at least once a week. Yay! That's
Oh.
great. Oh, I never remember how to say your name. Electrio, or
you
however
do
you
this
say
every
that.
week. I know.
We were in Springfield, Missouri last week. Came home sick. Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oops. Vicky wants to know, was I able to see any fall colors? No. The trees were just barely starting to change. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back in 2 weeks and see them, but I'm probably not going to. But Rosa says she has our pumpkin bread out of the oven right now. It smells so good. Yes, it is super, super delicious. We have that recipe also, a video on that.
I got a lot of comments on that. People really like the pumpkin bread. And you can make pumpkin muffins, don't forget, out of that same recipe.
Yes.
If it's easier and more handy.
Belinda, will you be making more Bible study videos? Not of their own, but if you have questions, you are welcome to ask them. We'll answer them in our live shows. So if you have something, you can ask.
Like that's why I said tonight, we'll take any questions, Bible questions or whatever tonight. So,
Mom of Many, what do you think is happening in end times prophecy? Well, I mean, the Bible said it's going to happen. So, I mean, it's
you mean
just,
recently? Is that what she's
you're talking about with Israel and all of that? The Bible talks about Damascus getting blown to bits. It talks about wars and rumors of wars. And so this is nothing surprising. It's meant to happen. And that's
things
just
like
the way
this
it
are
is.
going to keep happening because the Bible predicted that it would. And I think one thing about Israel with the stuff that's happening there, it's different in the fact that it's really almost demonic-like. It's very, very evil. When one nation does like what they did, well, it wasn't a nation, the terrorists did what they did, those types of things, those are beyond just having war with another nation. Those are very, very evil tendencies, like, well, I just don't know how else to describe it. It's just very evil. And so we're going to see more and more of that. And what's shows you it's even more evil and wrong is people are now protesting Israel.
defending themselves.
Yeah. So all this is not normal human thinking and behavior, and it's going to just keep getting much worse and worse. That's how you can tell, that the end times of stuff. And all this has been mentioned in the Bible in different places. So
yeah. Teresa says, do we have a pumpkin roll recipe?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Dining on a Dime Volume 1. Mom's pumpkin roll is on
I
page
forgot that's another good one to use the pumpkin with.
And actually, I'm going to be making a pumpkin roll. I'm going to actually be making two, a gluten-free one and a regular one for super easy recipes in my gluten free channel. So I'm going to be doing those videos soon. But yeah.
I hope that answered your question. If you want
yeah.
something more specific, just holler.
Bounty of the Badlands. We sold our calves at a record high this year, average $2,100 each. Oh, beef is going through the roof. Okay, stock up now, she says. Guys, listen to her. Like, roasts are on sale this week, so you better believe it. Tomorrow, I'm headed to the store for Senior Day. And I'm going to get me some roasts. Even though I'm not a senior, they always give me the discount anyway. I'm going to take it.
I wouldn't take that as a compliment, though.
Hey.
No offense.
If they see gray hair and they think gray hair means that you're a senior, I'm going to go for it. Wanda, which would work better for kitchen cabinets, a buffet or a long dresser? Whichever one has the best setup for you. I mean, it's
what you
either
have the
one. I use
space
both.
for,
Yeah.
and which would be.
Yeah, whichever you have the space for and all that. Yeah. People love stuffing any time of the year. It makes a great off-season surprise dinner. Yep, it does. Jenny's, my grocery store has flour on sale for $1.99 and 4 pounds of sugar for $2.99. If that's your stock up price, then start going for it now. She lives in rural Kansas. Yep, I would go for it then. If they're starting, I wouldn't be surprised if they're starting early this year because everybody's businesses are down. I mean, like we were talking to our printer about, because our business is like 60% of what it was last year. And so, they were saying, yeah, we're the same way. And so apparently everybody is. So I have a feeling you're going to be seeing a lot of sales this Christmas season. So if you have the money, don't go out and buy those Starbucks and get those nails done and get your hair done.
I was just going to say,
Stock
save your
up.
money that you usually spend, and save it from groceries.
I've been watching some grocery hauls for the grocery audits, and I'm just shaking my head at the amount of soda, which there's nothing wrong with buying soda, but buy it on sale. And the amount of sodas and Little Debbie's and the fruit things, the fruit snacks things, and just junk food that people are buying. And I'm like, people, stop buying all this junk and get something and stock up for a while. And then they complain about the price of groceries.
Well, and with things that are happening now, like we said in Israel and that type of thing, it's hard telling what could be happening by the end of the year. So you need to really get more serious. We've been saying this for a couple of years now, trying to get people to prepare a little bit. But now you've really need to get more serious.
Let's see.
3 and 4.
I got 3. I'm working on 3. Okay. Wild Rose, thank you for the free ebook. You're welcome. Guys, if you want our free Queens Ride By ebook, that's our freebie for today. Go check it out in our store. Mike put it on 0 for you. Loretta, do they still make a cordless sweeper? I think it's Bizzle. Yeah, I've seen those before. Yeah. Bounty in the Badlands. My hubby never goes in my backup pantry. If it's not in the working pantry, he asks that I go shopping in my store. Yes, very good for him. That's good. Very good.
That's good.
Bab says she got our Get It Together People planner. She's so excited. Guys, 10% off right now. It is 400 pages, undated. Go look on the sales page. You'll be able to see a walkthrough, but here is what the daily part looks like. It's undated, so you can start now and just start.
And a lot of people start getting those types of books at the beginning of the year, but some of you may really need it now before the holidays. Just I don't make lists a lot, but I do for Christmas and Thanksgiving right before the holidays. I do make lists for things then. So some of you might want to start your planner now, which is good because this is undated and you can do that.
Vicky, I bought my ham during Easter when it's sale, made 4 packages, 4 different meals. Yep, that's what I do.
That's really good.
And let me tell you, if beef is going that high, I'm stocking up on beef. Yes, Faith, the planners are back in stock. We just forgot to put them in stock. But if beef is going to be going that high, we're not going to be eating beef. We're going to be eating ham.
Or chicken.
Or chicken or whatever, pork chops, whatever.
But while it's on sale now, get it to prepare for when it's going to go up.
Linda, it would be amazing if you were able to do a collab with Kimmy. She's in her apron. Actually, I've done a couple. I've done 2 or 3 collabs with Kimmy. So, yep, you can go look at that. We love Kimmy. Mars says, are plastic garbage cans good for mini sellers? Well, I mean, if you want to dig the hole in the yard, I would say yes, but I wouldn't put like flour or sugar in there. I would only do canned goods because bugs, most trash cans don't have a tight seal. So if they don't have a tight seal, I wouldn't. Lori, does your cookbook have recipes using ground sausage?
We have
not
sausage.
a lot. We have how to make sausage.
Yeah.
But I mean, you could use them
Some of our recipes have sausage in them. We have
like
sausage gravy and
pizza, frittata, the breakfast bake, the egg brunch. All of those use sausage in them. Do we consider vinegar an essential staple? Yeah. I mean, I use it all the time.
Yeah, because, well, I don't use vinegar a huge amount for cleaning, but vinegar is one of those things that's good to have because you can use it for a variety of things, for cooking and different things like that. So,
okay. Let's see. Teresa or Patricia loves our videos, not vinegar. Well, if you love our vinegar too, we have recipes for flavored vinegar and we're dining on a diet cookbook. We really do.
We do. You name it, it's in that cookbook.
She loves our videos. Thank you so much. And Teresa says, me too. She's learned so much. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, guys. We appreciate you making these comments because that helps other people to know whether they should get it or not. And I think it will help a lot of people, you know.
Denise says, what do you put your white rice to keep it in? So I either use old cat litter buckets from when we had cats, or I just store it on the shelves now. We don't have bugs. We don't have mice at this house. Knock on wood. I don't have a problem with rodents or bugs here. But if you do, then put it in like a metal can or something like that.
You can leave it just in the plastic bag if that's what it comes in. And I just do tar little cat litter buckets and things. You don't have to vacuum seal it or do any of that special stuff or freeze it or anything.
And Denise says, our yard is pretty. Thank you. You're welcome for showing it. Mike, if you want to share the link to my relaxing channel. I started a channel showing my garden. I don't have hardly any subs, but I just thought, well, it's a good way for me to put up my video because I was sitting on my deck and I was like, well, this is pretty relaxing. And I was thinking, well, maybe other people would find it relaxing. So I just put it on there. If you want to relax, you can go and relax in my backyard with me.
It's worth it just to see your yard and everything. It's really pretty.
All right. And Emily says, I rallied my strength to tell you I made her oil and vinaigrette dressing. It was delicious. Yay. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry you're feeling so bad. I know how that is.
Yeah, we totally understand what it took for you to do that.
Lynn says she has jasmine rice from 5 years ago. She keeps it in plastic Coke bottles. It's probably a good idea. Yep. Paula says, if I know someone who gets food from churches and gives it away to friends and even throws it out to feed the squirrels, birds, and deer, should I report it to the church or just stay out of it? I would probably just stay out of it.
Yeah, I
don't know that it's really worth the mess.
Yeah,
I think.
It's one of those things that's real borderline, but if it's a friend or neighbor, I'm not sure. It's like one of those things. Is it my business or is it not my business? It's a hard call, but I would probably
say
it's
probably none of your business.
I would probably stay out of it for this.
I would say it's probably none of your business. I mean,
it's not like it's going to really hurt somebody too horribly seriously. You know what I mean?
It's not like it's dangerous, and it's not like they're just, I mean, they are stealing in one way, but then in another way, they're not. So I would just stay out of it probably.
Yeah.
Vicky, I used to eat popcorn while watching workout videos.
That's good.
There you go. Why not? Oh, Kimberly says, when I first got my cookbook, I read it cover to cover because I just loved it. So many gift ideas, homemade everything. Thank you. Yes, people do read it like a novel.
Yeah, we've had people say they stay up at night reading it when they get it. It's so funny. I just can't imagine staying up reading the cookbook at night.
You can send me the next ones, Mike. Wanda says, the one thing that bugs me is when people go to food banks and complain about what they get or how much. I was always grateful for whatever I got from people.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry. That would, yeah. That would make me mad. Yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Michelle. I'm glad you got your modem fixed. Let's see. Kimberly says, if you're roasting at a high temperature, be sure to use high temperature oil, avocado, or grape oil. Yes, that way you won't. Yvette says, send an anonymous letter to the church or something. You know, I don't know that I agree with that. I think that if you're going to send a letter, it shouldn't be anonymous. I think you need to just, if you really feel like you need to say something to the church, then go ahead and say something, but don't make it anonymous. I don't think you should do that. I don't know.
Wonder why she's doing that. Why the gal's taking the food like that and
Is
doing
it
it.
possible that it's expired?
Yeah, Mike said it's possible. It could be.
I was going to say
expired,
there
so-
might be.
Our food pantry used to throw away this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Part of the reason I'm hesitating is sometimes they do tell people just to take the stuff home. You know.
Well, like,
you
so
know.
my aunt, she was
Yeah,
living in an elderly or
because you don't know the full circumstances.
Section 8 housing. And so they all qualified for the food pantry. But the food pantry they went to, it was in Colorado, and it was just literally overflowing with food. So like a single lady every week would get 3 huge boxes of food. And she couldn't eat it all, or they just had to take what they gave them. They couldn't pick through and only get what they ate. So then she would give it to us. And that's how I was able to get a lot of my stockpile for our old house was just leftovers from her. And I'm like, well, they were just going to throw it away. And her and her friends were like, well, we know a family that'll eat it. So I was like, okay, well, I'll take it. But they weren't going to eat it. They were just going to throw it away. So you might as well give it. So, I mean, you don't, this is one of those situations where you maybe don't know all the
you have to really
circumstances.
think about the circumstances or
I don't
know them
know.
all before you can do something about it.
Yeah. Back in 79, 80, Wanda said, I was working at Safeway in December when a couple came through my line with 6 bottles of wine, several packs of fancy cheeses. It came to a little over $50. The man said, groceries are sure expensive now. I just stared at him. They didn't buy any groceries.
That's good. Oh, you guys have some good stories there.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Some of these things you're just
you just shake your head. Yeah.
Jenny says, speaking of apple pie, I made apple pie cinnamon rolls using apple pie filling I made last year and froze the pie filling. Yes, we have apple pie filling in volume 1 right here, and it is super yummy. Benny the Badlands, best turkey on prices here for our Thanksgiving was $2.29. She must be in Canada, I guess, since they just had Thanksgiving. Ham's $1.49. Yep. Tina, when oh yeah, Tina. One year my son had to bring 52 pencils to school. I know.
Yeah. That's what Tara went through with. They just had huge amounts. Well, what was even worse, I think one year, a couple of years, the teachers just kept everything and they'd all put it together. So Tara's kids would maybe use 1 pencil a year, but they had to bring a whole bunch for the other kids who used them up all the time and broke them and just messed with them. So it just wasn't done in a very fair way or right way.
Yeah. Connie says, I should have come to South Dakota because they have beautiful fall colors. I saw that. Actually, we were going to try and come through South Dakota, but we forgot we had to pick up our price books.
South Dakota's a little closer, now to us.
I know. So I could have. And then I could have finally met Connie. Bounty in the Badlands. Does the temple not need to be rebuilt before the Lord comes back? It's talked about, but not stated. So I think it's stated that the temple is going to be rebuilt during the tribulation.
Yeah.
And so, no, they are all prepared for it, but no, I don't think it has to be rebuilt before.
It just needs to be rebuilt before the Antichrist sets them up at halfway through the tribulation, and it has to be rebuilt by then, but they've got everything so much in place. This is another thing that makes it kind of exciting, that things are getting closer. They've got so much in place. They said it'll take only 3 to 6 months if they get the Temple Mount, get it rebuilt. That's all it'll take to have that temple thrown up and together. And it's fascinating because even people don't realize they even the women are having to weave a curtain. There was a curtain between the Holy of Holies, I think, and the other part of the temple. And it was, how thick was it? It was really,
I think it's a foot thick.
Yeah, it was huge thick. And it's made out of special material with special dyes and all of this. Well, they didn't even have the dye to know how to do it or how to weave this special curtain. And it's just been a few years back that they just discovered a source of the same dye that they used. And the women now have figured out how to weave this thick curtain, and they've got that all in place and ready. So they've got so much ready for that temple. That's why so many of these things have built up. We're kind of excited, if you can't tell. These things are so prepared and ready that a lot of people don't know about. And when we start hearing about the stuff that's happening in Israel now, it's just like dominoes effect, that everything's just starting to fall, right into place, and it's going faster and faster. So,
let's see, Mike, I need the next one if you haven't. Kimmy, hello. We were just talking
Kimmy.
About you. Somebody said we
Good
should
things,
do a
good
collab,
things.
and I said we have done a collab. We love Kimmy. We did not get to see Kimmy at our conference a couple weeks ago that we missed this year. Let's see. Oops, I'm trying to.
Have a visit in person.
Yes, Kimmy's just going to have to come visit us in person.
Yeah, you need to come visit.
Okay, let's see. Did you send me the next one, Mike?
Coming right now.
Okay, just a second. Guys, 1 minute here. Okay, have you heard if there will be a turkey shortage this year? I have not heard of a turkey shortage yet. I don't know. CJ says, been eating through our old stockpile, but starting to rebuy again. Yep, that's exactly
that's the way to do it. Exactly.
Yep. My freezer door got left open and everything defrosted. So now something leaked.
While you were gone, it was over?
No.
Oh.
It was only for 24 hours, but everything was still really cold, but something had defrosted and leaked all over everything. So now I got to clean it. So I'm trying to get everything used up so that I can clean it and be in time for Thanksgiving for start doing so much. But Cheryl says, so much easier and cheaper to just make your muffin recipes instead of buying Little Debbie's. Yep.
Yeah, it's
right here.
And to prepare for Christmas and Thanksgiving, to do the muffin recipes, the cookie recipes, and things like that, you can right now, or as soon as the stuff starts going on sale, unless you already have flour and sugar and stuff, make up jars of the dry ingredients. Get the dry ingredients all measured out that you're going to need for your Christmas cookies or your Thanksgiving dinner. That's why I do my gingerbread man. Is in October I measure out, and then I vacuum seal, but you probably wouldn't necessarily need to vacuum seal it. I just do it. Vacuum seal the dry ingredients, get it all measured, so that when it comes time closer to the date, all I have to do is dump the dry and the wet ingredients together, and it takes about half the amount of time by having all the dried ingredients measured out into like a baggie or something like that. And you can just use one or two of the little cheapy baggies too, is what I did, like the flour and spices in one, the sugar in another. And then you've got it all set and just store it in your cabinet till Thanksgiving gets closer or Christmas. So
Joanne, where's the temple? So the temple is supposed to be built in Jerusalem on the Temple Mount. So it'll be interesting if the Arabs blow up their own temple. And then it's annihilated, so they rebuild it. That would
be careful what you're watching in the news, guys, really, about what's happening in Israel. And we need to support Israel because they now, for example, Hamas said that the Jews were the ones that blew up, Israel was the ones that blew up the hospital. And they now have proof that showed it was Hamas that sent a rocket off that fell short and blew up their own hospital. So you be very careful about what you're watching and get good news. Don't get the stuff they're not telling you, a lot of the true stuff
Yeah.
and stuff, things like that. And pray for Israel, but not only pray for them. I heard today Amir was saying, stand up for it. It's like if you see 3 bullies, teenage boys, beating a little 5-year-old, you don't just stand there to one side and pray for that little 5-year-old. What you do is you need to stand up to the bullies and say, you need to stop that. And there's so many protests and things like that. You need to support Israel. We really do need to support them.
Yep. Put on your glasses. Yes. So go ahead and support Israel. Sorry. Okay. Let's see. Send me the next batch, Mike. Jersey says, what is the best way to study the Bible?
Well,
first of all, just pick something and start reading it. But usually, if you've never read the Bible at all, I would start in the New Testament, probably. Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, Romans, Acts, those are all good ones to start with. Or you could start in Genesis, but you don't have to read it front to back. But I would read books. I would read complete books. So like I would read all of John, all of Acts, all of Romans.
And we have a list, don't we have a list of like Pastor Jack Hibbs?
Mm-hmm.
Pastor Jack Hibbs is really good. He's teaching through the Bible on Sunday morning. And that way, if you're in the book of Romans, wanting to read he explains all the different things about Romans. So if you're just starting out, you might want to listen, besides reading along with them, you might listen to somebody like Pastor Jack, to explain. They go into the Hebrew. What does the Hebrew mean for this and that type of thing?
Yep. Do we ship to Canada? I'm sorry, we don't. We can't ship outside the United States anymore. I'm so sorry, guys. It is the international customs laws that are doing it. It's not us. We were shipping, and listen, I'm not exaggerating. We were losing thousands of dollars in books to customs issues. And so we got to the point where we could not do it anymore. But we do have the ebooks, so you can get the ebooks, and you are free to print it out for your own self. Of course, you can't sell it, but you can print it out for yourself. Dana says, with the price of cable, what do you do for watching TV?
Me?
I don't have cable, so.
Oh, me? Well, I have cable. I do have cable because I figured out I get a discount because my phone and my internet and my cable are all combined together. So if I got rid of my cable, my telephone and my internet would go up. Plus, it's just a little bit more than if I had to, like don't you pay like $10 or $20 or something like that?
I have no idea. I haven't had cable for 20 years.
Not cable, but when to watch movies and stuff, don't you have to get those types of things?
So if you have subscriptions for like Netflix and that, it's like $5, $10, $20.
Yeah, so
what you get,
I figured out that it would cost me as much in just getting 2 or 3 subscriptions as it would for me to have cable, So
and so like for Mike and I, we don't have cable, but we pay $6 a month for Friendly. Is the one we're on right now. And so what we do is we switch between the subscriptions. So like, I won't even go near Netflix or Hulu anymore. They're just trash. But like Friendly or PureFlix, we'll switch between them every few months or something. We watch a lot on YouTube. And now they're forcing ads. So
I don't know what we're going to do with that.
Well, there's nothing we can do. But
it's not.
Anyway, Jennifer, hello. I was waving at you as we passed through Colorado.
That cousin Jennifer?
No, Jennifer Weber.
Oh, Jennifer Weber. Hi, Jennifer.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Nancy says she brought the phone in with her to take a bath, and I was laughing out loud about the senior discount. And my husband came to see if she was okay.
That's funny.
Donnie says she got our planner 7 months ago and uses it every single day. She keeps her appointments and what to do. Yay!
Oh,
Thank
good
you. And it is
job.
10% off right now, guys. So Teresa says you can also use sausage for hamburger. Yes, you
Mhm.
can.
Mhm.
And
Or use it half and half.
Yep. Sherry says, please pray for me. I fell and fractured my vertebrae and have to wear a brace for 2 months. Oh my
Sherry,
goodness.
that's awful.
I am so sorry.
Yeah.
So
My son has a lot of extreme back problems, so we know
yeah.
the pain you're in.
Oh, and your cousin is on here.
Which one?
Cousin Chris.
Hi, Chris. Oh my goodness. I haven't talked to you since forever, just about.
She
So,
says, you
what?
have a cousin who lives in South Dakota and would love to see you. Our leaves are gone now, though. Are they really? Oh, man.
My, that was fast.
Yeah, I thought about
Yeah.
going through South Dakota on the way home from Missouri, but we had to stop by our printers and get our price books. So lo and behold, no, we didn't. But we got to see Grandma and Ellie again. So
Yeah.
I didn't.
It's really a toss-up because if they don't come through Colorado, they can't see Ellie and BJ and Grandma and everything.
Do you have your phone, Mike?
Yeah.
Do you have the pictures of the boys with Grandma on there? Did I send that to you?
Oh, this picture is so funny.
I don't know that I have it.
Oh, okay. Well, huh? You don't have to. I don't know if Dave wants to be on here anyway, so that's fine. But we took a picture of Jack and Dave with Grandma. Jack and Dave are like twice the size of Grandma.
At her head is almost at their waist, just a little bit above their waist, and these two giants on each side. It was so cute, and they were all grinning. It was really cute.
Wow. Okay. Water Bucket says, where do we buy our makeup? Just Walmart. I use the Maybelline Mousse, which I'm probably not going to be using anymore, but that's what I'm using.
Has their foundation on half price. I keep forgetting to tell you all the different kinds of foundations, all of their brands.
So I should go try it.
Yeah,
because they take it off too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'll take it back too if it doesn't work.
I don't know if it's Did I say Walmart? I meant Walgreens.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have Walgreens, if it's every place, but they do have until the 28th all their different brands of foundations for 50% off.
Girl with Plants says black bean soup recipe is amazing.
Thank you.
Of course it is, because we test all our recipes. I'm getting ready to enter the chili cook-off our school is having. Hopefully, I'm not going to tell what recipe I'm using because I won first place with it.
I was going to say, I know exactly what recipe.
I'm not going to say.
I should do my recipe in there.
Well,
what if you win and I don't win, or I win and you don't win?
And let's see. What is my gluten-free channel? Mike, I think, put the link in there for my gluten-free channel also.
Oh, I can.
But he can. He didn't. He will. I do have a gluten-free channel. Nebo says, pray for all the innocent Palestinians too. They are not second-class citizens. Yes. No. There are a lot of innocent people, and there are a lot of Christians in these places that are being
And when I say pray for Israel,
I
mean pray to. My heart breaks even more for like the people there in Gaza and that type of thing, because they're caught between a rock and a hard place. It's just the whole thing's just a mess, really.
Yeah. Mike sent me the next ones. Jennifer says Spearfish Canyon is so beautiful in the fall. Yeah, that was the picture I saw online. Somehow it popped up on my Facebook feed, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know that was there. And Spearfish is only 2 hours from us, maybe. So we could have gone, but they're gone now. Once again, I missed all the leaves. Connie says typically late September. Yeah. Well, we all had a freeze, so that just knocked everything. When we came home, we do have 2 red trees that still have leaves, which, oh my goodness, they're really pretty, but we're supposed to have snow on Wednesday, so I'm going to be crying if it takes out the trees. I'm going to be upset because they're really, really pretty. Wise Mama says the pantry I worked at, people would refuse any beans or lentils. It would upset me a lot. Yeah. I mean, so I'm kind of caught.
Yeah, I was just going to say the same thing.
Because there's a part of me that's like, if you're that desperate to go to the food bank, you need to be eating beans and rice. But at the same time, having been in that situation, if you are truly in need and truly desperate, and you are actually eating beans and rice because that's all you can afford, it's nice to have some fun things now and then.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is most people aren't truly in need to go to the food bank. I mean, I would say probably 70 to 80% of the people that go to food banks don't actually need to go to the food banks. They just don't want to spend their money on other things. So
It's a shame it has to be that way now.
yes. Ellen says Mennonite Central Council's Health and Support Center in Gaza was bombed. Oh, that's too bad. I mean, listen, that is awful. And I feel bad for those people. So don't think I'm trying to be callous here when I say this, but this is war.
Mm-hmm.
This is the casualties of war. In
There's always
World
gonna
War
be
I, World War
innocent
II, the Red
casualties.
Cross got hit with things. You know, I mean, unfortunately, that is, I'm not trying to sound callous.
Yeah.
But the problem is there is always going to be war, and there are always going to be casualties of war.
That's why you don't want wars, because there are going to be casualties.
And
actually, I'm amazed that Israel, they're
warning people,
everybody ahead of time and gave them plenty of time to get out. So that's not usually doesn't happen in a war. And so they're going above and beyond, you know, what they should be doing. Even.
Katie says, I can't watch the news anymore. It gives me anxiety. Then don't watch it.
Yeah, I was going to say, don't watch it, guys. Do not watch it.
Yeah, she says she just prays and lets her husband keep her updated.
Yeah, so, and I was going to say, don't watch it. I heard a woman, she was staying up until 2:00 in the morning watching news on this stuff.
No.
We emotionally can't handle it. That's the bottom line, because what happens now is, it used to be you would have news about your own community, your own town, your own family. And that was traumatic enough when things would happen in that area. But then you'd have the news maybe for your country around. But now we're supposed to emotionally handle all this horrible news from all over the world that we can actually watch live happening. And I don't think the human body, mind, and emotions are built to consume that. You know, and so you've got to be very, very careful that you limit yourself or don't watch it at all. You know your emotional state and how much you can handle. And I think you're wise in just letting your husband maybe watch it. Not that I think the guys emotionally are built a little bit differently. And so they can, you know, they can watch a little bit more, handle it a little bit more. That's why I think you're very wise in what you're doing. So,
Vicky says, my late mom has a freezer in her home. My brother says it's almost 20 years old. Should I risk it or buy a new one? I would use it. My appliance repair guy said that he would use the old appliances as long as you can.
Mm-hmm.
And so as long as it's still working, so you have to put it in perspective. If you fill up an average size stand freezer, I don't know, mine's like 5 feet tall. I don't know how much that holds, 21 cubic feet, maybe. I don't know. If you fill it with nothing but meat and you buy all your meat on sale, rock bottom prices, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, $1.99 or less, ham, 97 cents or less, roasts, now $3.50 or less. The most that will hold is about $200 worth of meat. About. So, are you going to lose a huge amount if your freezer breaks down? No, you're not. $200 is a lot of money, but it's really not a lot of money. Most women spend that much just on their hair and nails a month. So you're really not losing that much. So if her freezer is still working, I would definitely take it and just watch it. You know, if you're worried about it, just go out every day and just make sure it's still going. But here's the thing. If it goes out, first of all, if you keep it closed, you've got 48 hours before the food will cool down enough to even start spoiling in 48 hours. Then you can go out and buy a new freezer and probably have it delivered by then. If you can't, you can get the food out, get it cooked, and probably get it cooked down enough so that at least half of it would probably be able to go into your regular freezer if you got it organized really, really well. Most people don't have their freezers really organized and really stuffed. So I really wouldn't worry about it, and I would take your mom's freezer.
And two, it would give you time, if you're really that too concerned about it, to use it for a while you take and save up the money instead of charging, for another. That'll give you a few months to start saving, to get a new one if you wanted to.
Yeah. Mike J wants to, can you put the links again for all of my channels? So I have a channel for relaxing in the garden with me. What did I call it? I can't remember what I called the channel. Relaxing in my garden is what I call it. So Michael put a link for that. Michael put a link for my gluten-free channel and my super easy recipes channel.
I think I should start a quilting channel to go in with all of that.
I told you I'll show you how to do it. I'm not editing it though.
I know.
You
that's it.
can just
I don't want to
shoot
edit it.
and go for it if you want. Well, you can just shoot and go for it.
Oh dear.
If you want. Cindy, does Jesus come in the air to take us, then a different time come back and bring us for the big war? Yes.
Yes.
You are correct. So for the rapture, he meets us in the air. For the second coming, when we come back to fight the big war with him, yes. We will watch him. We will be there with him, watching him fight.
So the one's called the rapture and the other one's called the second coming.
Yes.
To know the difference,
Yes. Teresa says, I cut my own hair. Don't like my nails done. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. And so, I mean, that's where you have to keep it in perspective. And Nebo says homeowner insurance might pay for it if you lose your food.
Yes.
It might, but you have to take into consideration, are they going to raise your rates for making a claim?
Well, yeah,
So-
but be sure to check with your insurance company whenever something like this happens, and then you can decide,
If it's worth it or not.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's a good suggestion.
Okay. Next batch, Mike. Let's see. Joanne keeps a quarter on top of a frozen cup of water, and then she'll know if her freezer, because the quarter will fall to the bottom of the cup if her
Good
freezer
idea.
was too much.
Mhm.
Yes. Girl with a plan. Christian women need to resist being like Lot's wife. Don't look back, look ahead for God's plan. I'm not quite sure what that means, but yes, you're right.
Mhm.
So Missy says, I'm like you, Tara. I never felt like my house was my final home. Yeah, I have never really felt like any of the houses I've lived in has been home. And this is the first one.
I felt that for many, many years. Of course, I've moved so many times. It's hard for me to do different. But I was thinking the other day, I wonder if a little bit of that is, this isn't our home if you really think about it in one way.
True.
Maybe there's a longing in
I'm
there
just
for
so
us.
spiritual. But I don't feel like this earth is my home.
I know. Let's just get these heavenly crowns going here.
I'm kidding. All you gossip sites, I'm kidding.
I know. We get more trouble with the gossip sites, don't we? Oh, dear. That's just the way it is. I gave up on that a long time ago, worrying.
Sandra says, forever Israel, God's chosen people. Yes.
They are.
Denise says leaves are beautiful in Minnesota right now. Well, maybe we should just head up to Minnesota for our anniversary this weekend.
You could
dear.
go through South Dakota and then head on it through Minnesota.
Yeah. Kathy, are my channels only on YouTube? Yes. We have not gone to Rumble or anything like that because, yes, I know we could very easily get kicked off of YouTube, but there is just not the audience on all the other platforms for us to be able to go.
One
there,
thing, if
so.
something ever would happen to us, go to our website, right? Because we can tell them on the website where we're at. Then, if we go to, something happens, check out our website. If you ever
and sign up
use
for
us.
our newsletter.
And the newsletter on the website, and that'll help you know if something ever happens.
Diana says, Jill, do the quilting channel without edits. If you are live, we can all ask you questions. Even
That's
do once
true.
a month.
That's true. I didn't think about that.
That last one is actually 9. I put 7.
Okay. Thank you. Liz says she gets DVD at the library instead of cable. Yep. And Jay Moore says she doesn't use foundation. It cracks and looks really wrinkly. She uses tinted moisturizer.
Yes.
That's a good idea. And Tanya says boneless chicken is going on sale for $1.59. Holy cow. That's good. Let's see. The year we moved here, I got it for $1.49, but that's the cheapest I've seen it. So that's a good deal. Yeah, I would stock up. Diana says her Internet is $9.99. I don't have cable, but my mortgage is almost paid off. Good job.
That's good.
She says
yeah.
we're a great influence.
Oh, thank you.
And Tanya
But-
wants you to do the quilting too.
Let us know when that mortgage is paid off.
Jay Weber wants going to make our pumpkin bread this weekend. It is so delicious. Yes. Michelle says she canceled Netflix. You know, I never find anything to watch. Yeah. Well, after they started doing those ridiculous videos with girls acting like pole dancers, I was like, no, I'm not doing this. Well, we haven't had Netflix for, my goodness, probably 10 years. But even with that, when we were looking at channel places, I wouldn't do it because, yeah. Okay, and guys, our books are 35% off right now. livingonadime.com, volume 1 and volume 2, they go together. If you're going to start somewhere, start with volume 1, easy recipes. You can get in and out of the kitchen quick. The ingredients you already have. Our planners, our undated planners are 10% off, and our price books that we just got in, see how matchy, see what I did there? 35% off our price books, and our gluten-free, dairy-free cookbook is 35% off right now. livingonadime.com. We will see you guys on, are we doing a live show Friday, Mike?
Sure.
Okay, we're doing a live show Friday. I have no idea what we're talking about, but come join us Friday. livingonadime.com. Please
Bye-bye,
give us a
guys.
thumbs up and
We
subscribe.
love you.